Okay, Fast Octavia here. I'm gonna do some coloring, some quick coloring. This is just basically my process of how I color quickly. I mean, this isn't by no means supposed to be like some fancy illustration. It's something for me. I just want to do some fan art, so this is what I do. I select my shapes obviously, and then I grab the knife tool and I just basically cut the shapes out that I need in a different shade, as you can see right now. That's what I just did. Same thing to the other side of the face. It doesn't have to be too perfect, but I sometimes do go back and what, that needs to be changed a little bit. You can see him doing the ear. The knife tool is very curvy. I noticed it's really hard to get some sharp like making sharp corners with the pen tool. It's a little weird because it just tends to just curve, and that's basically the only thing I use it for, is like curvy shapes. Go back to the face, fix up the nose just a little bit. And that's what I do. You can correct your mistakes with the pen tool like that too, or you can just I could have just clicked undo and did a new shape. And see, I don't really care what the light's coming from. I kind of usually when I'm doing things for myself, I just wing it basically. Um, I'm still new to coloring because I used to. I'm mainly used to doing things in black and white, or like manga artwork, just black and white and everything. So coloring is a fairly new thing to me, but you know, my philosophy is, if you can make it look good, then you can make it look good. I don't really care where the light's coming from. I'm just filling in shapes, see what looks good, and then if it looks good, I'm like, you know what? That's where the light's coming from. That's gonna be the whole scheme of the lighting and the whole thing. I think the ear. I have to close the path right there real quick. And then I go back with the brush tool sometimes, and I add just the little like the fine details, like in the face. Like if it's not a big shape, I'll use the brush tool. Like you can also use the brush tool like extensively throughout the illustration. You can use it to like make like various lighting effects, and you can also use different colors, obviously. But here we're just focusing on just the knife tool. Very minimal use of the brush, as I will explain later, and just simple colors. Right now, I just have the base color for the armor, which is white, and then I have the base color for his face, which is dark brown. And I'm just doing for the lighting. I'm just using for the shade. I'm using just one color, which is gray for the Stormtrooper armor, and as you can see in the face, it's I used light brown for the lighting. I love the use of reflective lighting too. I do use that a lot in my illustrations. I just think it gives it more of a dynamic look. I don't even know if dynamic's the right word. I'm just that dynamic's a cool word, so I'm using it. That's what I'm doing right here. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying I'm trying not to care too much about the lighting, but I'm trying for the helmet to look not as like, I don't want it to look bland. So I do have to be a little careful because I know the stormtrooper helmet is very contoured or very curvy. So I wanna be able to show that. So there we go. Again, I don't think that my lighting is the best right now, but it works, and that's mainly what I'm looking for. That it just works. I mean, not trying to go for anything too realistic, just for something that works. Yeah, just doing the same thing for the other shapes. Just so what I like to do is I select also various shapes all at once, and just get the knife tool and just bam, just knock them out. Fill out some random shapes. Well, not too random, but you know, um, place them well enough so that they don't look bad. I want the shading to not look bad, but I also like I don't care if it looks a little bad. Like it needs to look like the lighting needs to look close to what I'm doing everywhere else in the whole drawing. As you can see, I managed that. It doesn't look off or anything. It works. And the same thing with the arm. I think at this point I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just filling in some shapes. And in the end I just filled the whole thing in. And just did the whole reflective lighting around the edges. I really like how that arm looked like, especially with that shade. I think it looked pretty good. That's a pretty good arm. Forearm. That's pretty good forearm. Yep. Going back to the helmet, just adding a little bit of lighting near the front. Make it look a little more round. And there's the hand. Done. As you can see, I forgot a stroke right there in the thigh by the gun. As you can see, the only thing I did is I filled it with, or I'm going to fill it with a shade of gray, like I did right there. Didn't think it was necessary to go back and add just one black stroke to that. I just like whatever. Yeah, this is to show you guys that you can. You don't have to be the best at coloring. You can just color the way you like. If you don't know how to color, then hopefully this helps to know that you don't have to be the best at coloring to create something that looks nice. I mean, I think all I'm using is a max of 5 colors here. Because this is what you call this is what you call cell shading. I like it. What I do, like shading in like gradients, like in Photoshop. Yeah, I'm not great at it, but I can. I do want to learn. I mean, the first video that I have is of Pearl. I mean, I'm not good at coloring, but I managed to do that. Like I usually like cell shading the best because that's what I'm better at. But I do want to be able to color in different styles, so I will do that. Yeah, the whole process, I think, for this, at least for the coloring, took me 30 to 40 minutes. I think more like 40 minutes. But that's mostly because I get distracted so much. As you can see from the video that you're watching, I will zoom out of the artwork a lot, like I'm doing right now. Zoom out, look at it for like 5 seconds, and go back and do some more work. And I'll do that a lot just to make sure that everything pretty much, like I said, like everything works. Make sure it looks alright. And if it does, just keep going. But I think if I didn't do that, I'd save much more time. But again, this is just for myself. And that gun from last time, it still looks bad, but it doesn't look that bad now that you add more shading to it. I mean, it's still not a good gun, but it works, and that's all I'm trying to go for. Just that everything works. what am I doing? Oh yeah, I'm separating the black line art from everything else, and I'm putting in a new layer. That way, when I go over with my brush, I don't have to worry about overlapping these black lines because it'll just be behind the black lines, so I can just color freely without having to worry about going in the lines or anything like that. Yep, made my new layer, and then I have other like useless layers there from when I was working on this earlier. Testing my brush. I need it a bit thicker because these will have to be noticeable strokes. I'm just filling in these parts near some black outlines, just to make it look like there's some how do you say it, contouring to it, something like that. Because even a little bit of these can go a long way, and overall, you know, it's gonna make your work, you know, pop. I don't really like to use that word because a lot of people say, hey, you know, you need to make that pop, and you know, I don't really know what that means. But I know it's a general term for, hey, you know, this needs to look better. So I guess that's how I use it, just for the sake of this for now. Yeah, and I'm using the knife tool again just to add some minor details. That looks nice. That's a good shin. That's a good shin. Again, you know, I don't really care about the lighting. I like that shape, but I think I went back and yep, I deleted that shape and I added different shapes to it. Let's see how it looks. I think in the end I decided with a smaller shape. Yeah, yep, I did. Smaller, rounder shape right there in the chest area. And yeah, everything looks pretty much done. Just adding a little more detail. Yeah, this only took like 40 minutes max. I mean, for you, I mean, if you're not distracted easily, you can probably knock this out in like 15-20 minutes. I mean, and if you're really fast, then even less. But yeah, that's my quick coloring tutorial. Not tutorial, my narrative. I'm narrating this. Yeah, hopefully it helps somebody. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Later. I forgot to add the blood now.